Welcome students. So we are in the process of learning about the valuation of receivables. So in the previous class we raised this question that whether the receivables should be valued at the cost price or the sales value, and I discussed certain things with you that even RBI has also raised this issue and issued the guidelines sometime back to the banks that the receivables should be valued at the selling price, not at the cost price, and the banks should provide the liberal finance on the basis of the sales value rather than the cost. But these days, as I have already told you, that these days whether to value it at the cost or at the selling price, that depends upon certain factors, that how much additional sales we are making and how much extra revenue the firm is going to earn, and as compared to the revenue, what is going to be the cost. So we can value the receivables in either way, and then try to find out that if valuing it at the cost is say a profitable proposition, then we will go for valuing it at cost, and then we will see at the selling price also, and then we compare with the selling price the additional profit available by say investing surplus funds in the receivables or creating additional receivables, and then the decision will be taken. So it depends upon the firm to firm, situation to situation. There is no standard rule about it, and decision will be depending upon the marginal profitability available from the additional investment made in the receivables, additional cost which is going to be there because of the say additional investment of the funds, as well as the say bad debt losses, as well as the collection cost. And we will have to look at the situation and evaluate the this case, and then accordingly, as per the situational parameters, we will have to take the decision. So let us try to understand that what should be the valuing criteria, whether the receivables should be valued at the cost or at the selling price, at what price they should be taken into account, and finally what decision the firm should arrive at. So I have a small example here. We will try to make certain calculations, small calculations, not very lengthy one, and then we will try to learn that how the receivables should be valued. As in case of inventory, we have a standard rule that it should be valued at the say cost or the selling price, whichever is lower. So whether same holds good for the receivables also. As such, there is no rule that at which cost it should be valued. It depends upon the situation and circumstances available. So let us see, we have a situation here, we will evaluate this situation, and then we will try to learn that how to take the decision in the different situations. So it is a small situation here, see small illustration we have here, that the existing sales of Alpha Limited are 800 crores, rupees 800 crores, with an average collection period of 30 days and bad debt losses of 1%. Variable cost of goods sold is 80% of the selling price. If the present policy is relaxed, the firm is expected to increase its sales by 200 crores. It means the firm is selling worth rupees 800 crore with an average collection period of 30 days and the bad debt losses of say 1%, and the variable cost is 80% of the selling price. So when you are talking about the 800 crore, this is partly in the cash and partly on the profit, partly in cash and partly credit, and there is certain credit policy which is being followed by the company. So it may be appropriate credit policy as per the company's rules or the say credit policy devised by the company. But currently the company is facing a situation that they have the slow moving inventory, for example. They have the slow moving inventory. So in a situation, sometimes what happens that when the firm has the slow moving inventory, so they relax the credit policies, and they would like to invest further funds in the sales or in the accounts receivables through sales. So in this situation, as it is given that if the present credit policy is relaxed, means if the present credit policy is followed, total sales are 800 crores, but if company relaxes the present credit policy, the firm is expected to increase its sales by 200 crores. So sales will go up by 200 crores from the 800 crore to 1000 crore. But the average collection period of the sales, so the negative part here is, but the average collection period of the sales and the bad debt losses will increase to 90 days and the 2% respectively. So currently the credit period given is 30 days when the sales are 800 crores, and bad debt losses are only 1% of the credit sales. But if company relaxes its credit policy, there will be three effects. First effect will be that sales will increase by 200 crores, so it will become 1000 crore and go up from 800 crore to 1000 crore, increase by 200 crores. This is the first effect. Second effect here is that collection period will be increasing from 30 days to 90 days, that will be going up by 3 times, and 2% bad debt losses will be 2%. So it will also become double, that is from 1% it will become 2%. The cost of capital of the business is 20%. The cost of capital of the business is 20%. So it means company when is making additional sales of worth 200 crores, it means they will have to make additional investment in the receivables, and for that they will have to cause the additional investment cost. Advise the firm whether it should relax its credit policy or not. Means whether they should go for additional 200 crores of the credit sales or not, and that is only possible if the credit policy is relaxed and this entire 200 crores of the sales are on credit. Right, this is on the credit. So we will have to evaluate this by taking into account the cost as well as the selling price value of the receivables, and then we will have to arrive at a decision that at what the receivables should be valued at, whether the receivables should be valued at the cost or the selling price, and how these things should be taken into account. So what we will have to do here is that is we have to use the say incremental analysis here also, or the marginal profitability analysis here also. There is a technique which is called as a marginal profitability analysis. Say we are selling at current liability that is 800 crores. Now we want to marginally increase by 200 crores. So total sales will become 1000 crores. So we will have to calculate the marginal profitability, cost, marginal profitability and cost for the alternative valuation, of the accounts receivables. Marginal profitability and cost calculations for the alternative valuation of accounts receivables. So let us see that how we can take the decision and finally arrive at a conclusion that how it should be valued at. So we will have to follow the marginal analysis, marginal profitability and the cost analysis. So we will be doing something like this: marginal profitability and cost calculation, for alternative valuation of accounts receivables, for alternative valuation of the accounts receivables, right. So first one is we will have to write here particulars, then is the receivables valued at cost, right, and receivables valued at selling price, receivables valued at the selling price, receivables valued at selling price. These are the three situations. Number one now, first of all, number one it is, first of all we will have to calculate the marginal profitability of sales, marginal profitability of sales. Marginal profitability of the sales is how much? That is, we are going to have how much increased sales we are going to have? 200 crores. And what is the profitability? If the variable cost is 80%, so the marginal profitability is 1 minus 0.80. So this is going to be how much? That is 40 crores, and here it is also 40 crores, whether it is valued at cost or whether valued at the selling price. The marginal profitability on the marginal sales of 200 crores is going to be 40 crores in both the cases. Now you go to the second level now, that additional investment in receivables, additional investment in accounts receivables valued at cost. Additional investment in accounts receivables valued at cost. So, how much is going to be additional investment now? What is going to be the new level of sales? That is going to be 1000 crores. And what is the valued at cost? We are valuing it at cost. So, what is the cost? That is 80% only. And then it is going to be the investment will be, what is the credit period? Credit period will be going up to 90 days and divided by 365, right? So, this is the one part. Next is going to be, what was the earlier situation? Earlier we had the sales of 800 crores, then multiplied by 80%, and then it is how much days credit period? 30 days credit period divided by 365. So, how much investment we have worked out is additional investment in accounts receivables valued at cost is going to be something like 144.66, and it is nil here because it is valued at cost. So, additional investment in accounts receivables valued at cost is this much, because first effect of the additional sales is going to be that accounts receivables we are selling at a credit period of 1 month earlier. Now we will be selling at a credit period of 3 months. So, when you are increasing the credit period from 1 month to 3 months, certainly your investment in the accounts receivables is going to increase. So, this part first we have to work out that how much additional investment we are going to make if we are valuing the receivables at cost. Here we have valued the receivables at cost because we have multiplied this 1800 of the sales with the cost only. So, it is we have first converted the selling price into cost price and then multiplied by the number of days sales are going to be blocked in the accounts receivables. So, this is the additional investment in accounts receivables valued at cost. Number 3 now, additional investment in additional investment in accounts receivables valued at selling price, additional investment in accounts receivables valued at selling price. So, simple it is now. Now, what you will be doing, you will not multiply these things with the cost. So, it is going to be more simple now in this case. This is, it is rupees 1000 divided by 90 by 365. We are not multiplying it with the cost now. So, it will be something like this minus rupees 800 into 30 by 365, right. This way we are going to take it 30 by 365. So, how much is going to be the investment when the receivables are valued at selling price? We are going to invest here, that is 180.82 crores. This is the investment we have worked out while we are valuing the receivables at the selling price. This is 180.82 crores, right. Now, we go for the next level, that is number 4, marginal cost at 2, marginal cost at 2 above. How much is the marginal cost? Now, we will have to calculate the marginal cost here, and when you are calculating the marginal cost, so that cost is going to be, marginal cost at 2 is going to be how much? That is, first cost is the cost of investment, and what is the cost of capital? That is 20%. So, 20% is the cost of capital into 144 point, what is the cost here? This is 144.66. So, we are going to invest this much, cost of capital is 20%. So, that is we are taking 20%, this is one part, then plus 1000 into 0.02 minus 800 into 0.01 multiplied by 0.80 because the cost is 80%. So, we have taken the marginal cost here. First, say cost of the investment is the say cost of capital, and if we are investing this 144.66 crores. So, your first investment is cost of the first cost is the cost of investment, that is 20% of the 144.66, and the second element of the investment is that your say bad debts are going to increase. So, there is a bad debt cost also, and the bad debt cost is going to be that now the bad debt losses are going to be, or maybe what we have given here is that is 2%, that bad debt losses, yes, collection, but the average collection period of the sales and the bad debt losses will increase from this to this. So, now again that another investment which we will have to make is that is the bad debt losses, and that will be 20% is the investment cost, and 2% now it will be bad debt losses of the 1000 of the increased sales as against 1% of earlier. So, it means the total cost is going to be how much? That will be, if you solve this, the total cost will come out as 38.53 crores. 38.53 crores, and similarly if we calculate the cost here in this case. So, the cost is marginal cost here is going to be how much? 0.20 into how much is the investment we have made at the selling price? 180.82 crores plus additional is going to be 1000 into 0.022% bad debt losses. We are not going to get these funds back, bad debt losses are going to be there, and then minus 800. This is going to be how much? That is 20% into 180.2 plus 1000 into 02 minus 800 into 0.01. So, we will not multiply it by this 80% because we are taking it at the selling price. So, the cost working out here is how much is the cost here? That is a 48.16. So, now all the calculations are in front of us. We have the marginal profitability of sales, which is 40 crores when we are selling say extra for 200 crores. So, our say ratio of the cost to sales is 80%. So, cost to sales is 80%. So, it means the remaining is the profit. So, profit is 20%. So, marginal profitability we are going to have is the 40 crores. Now, how much to earn this 40 crores, how much additional investment we have to make? Additional investment we have to make is number one in the accounts receivables, and that our accounts receivables will increase from the 30 days to 90 days, that is from 1 month to 3 months. So, that will become 144.66 at the cost, and at the selling price this investment will be more because we are including profit here 180.82. So, then the receivables additional investment in accounts receivables valued at cost and selling price, and then marginal cost at 2. The marginal cost at 2 is how much? That marginal cost at 2 is here, that is 2, and here you have to write one thing. What we have calculated here is marginal cost. We will write it again here, that it is marginal cost at 3. This is called as marginal cost. This is the marginal cost at 3, marginal cost at 3. So, marginal cost at 3 above is how much? Marginal cost here is, that is 20% is the cost of capital multiplied by how much? 182 is going to be the, how much is the cost? 182.2, right, plus we are going to have something more above and over and above this, we are going to have 1000, then into 0.02 is the bad debt losses in the current minus existing are 800 into 0.01, this is like this. So, it means this is the investment cost or the because of the cost of capital, and this is the bad debt losses. So, finally we are going to have how much? That amount is going to be something like 48.16 crores. Now, the figures are available, calculations are available with us, and on the basis of that we can take a decision, right. You see, now look at that whether to value the receivables at the cost or the selling price, we are going to answer this question. And in this case, first of all, we saw that normal sales level is 800 crores, but if company wants to relax its credit policy, then they can further sell for 200 crores in the market, but additional investment is required. So whether the company should say relax its credit policy or not. So now we have to evaluate that situation or those propositions, and for evaluating that situation, what we did, we calculated first the marginal profitability, and that was same at both the levels. Then we calculated the additional investment we are going to make if we are valuing the receivables at cost, which works out as 144.66, and when the receivables are being valued at selling price, this is 180.82. Then at these two investment levels, we calculated the cost of investment, that is the marginal cost of investment plus bad debt losses. So that worked out as 38.53 crores at the cost when the receivables are valued at cost, and in this case it worked out as 48.16 crores when the receivables are being valued at the selling price. Now you have to make a comparison of this and this, here also this and this, right. So see, if we are valuing the receivables at cost, so decision of relaxing the credit policy and increasing the sales by 200 further crores or additional crores is positive, because here the marginal profitability is more than the marginal cost. Our marginal cost, by spending extra 38.53 crores, our marginal profitability is going to increase by the 40 crores. So certainly there is a means the profitabilities outweigh the marginal cost, so decision is in favor. But when if you take this receivables valued at the selling price, again the profitability is remaining the same, but your cost is going to increase, marginal cost is going to increase. For earning the profitability of 40 crores, we have to shell out 48.16 crores. So that is not the acceptable proposition, and here in this situation we are showing that it is a loss making proposition. So we should not relax the credit policy and we should not go for the additional sales, because in that case marginal cost of investment plus bad debt losses are more as compared to the additional profitability as against the profitability when the value receivables are valued at cost. So I told you that like inventory, there is no fundamental or golden rule that the receivables should be valued at cost or at the selling price. I told you earlier also, it's a situational analysis. It depends upon the situation that how much additional investment we are making in the receivables and how we should evaluate the receivables. Valuing at the cost is also okay, valuing at the selling price is also okay. There is no problem at all, it can be done either way, but only thing is that we will have to have some logic that why we are valuing at cost and why we are valuing at selling price. Here we have a logic that if you are valuing it at the cost, you are ending up making the profits. If you are valuing at the selling price, you are ending up making the losses. So now what decision the firm should take? If the firm has no other opportunity cost, if the firm has the opportunity cost and if there is no other better avenue to make this investment of 200 crores means at any other avenue, then it's better to make this investment here, justifying that we are only investing the cost, we are not investing the profits, right. We are not investing the profits, we are only investing the cost, and which is 80% of the selling price. By investing that much of amount and calculating the marginal cost, we have found here that we are ending up making the additional profits of 1 point some crores, right, 1.47 crores. But if we have some other opportunity available, then we have the reasons also to reject this proposition or maybe the proposal to relax the sales, because in that case what we are going to do, in that case we are going to end up at losses, because your additional profitability is 40 and your additional cost, marginal cost is 48. So I think we have also the justification to reject the credit policy, relaxing decision, we should not relax it, right. So there is no standard fundamental rule whether the receivables should be valued at a cost or valued at selling price. It depends upon the situation and largely upon the opportunity cost of the investment. If we have the better investment avenue outside the firm, we should go for that. Otherwise, if surplus investment is possible to be made and we can think of investing that in the accounts receivables, then either way we can value the receivables whether at the cost or at the selling price. Like inventory, here for valuing of the receivables there is no fundamental rule. So, we stop the discussion here about this particular topic. Now, the next thing which I will discuss with you is, that is the changes in the credit policy. Changes in the credit policy. Many a time, because as I told you that normally the firms have the standard credit policy which remains the written credit policy, and that remains communicated objectively to all. But in certain cases, that credit policy which the firm is following, sometimes that needs to be relaxed, and relaxing of the credit policy depends upon the market situation. Sometimes what happens that firm's production is not going to the market in the normal course, and inventories of the firm are mounting, right. We have say a situation like that, we are manufacturing 1000 units of a product per month, and we were selling that easily, maybe some 800-900 units we were easily selling in the market, both credit and cash, and only 150 units were in the godown, in the warehouse. So that was a normal stock situation. But maybe because of certain factors, maybe the availability of substitutes in the market, or maybe sometime availability of the similar products at the lesser price from the other competitors in the market, or maybe because of any other reason, firms' sales may decline. So earlier, say for example, if they are manufacturing 1000 units and selling 800-900 units, it may be possible that because of any external factors, sales have declined to say 600 units. So it means now in the warehouse there will be on an average 350-400 units all the times, every month they are adding to the inventory, and that way slowly and steadily the inventory of the firm is mounting. So that in that situation, the firms may think of that not for always, not for the long term. Normally the credit policy of the firm will remain as it is, or it has been in the past. But since currently, because the market is not favorable, situation is not favorable, and our sales have been negatively hit by some external factors which are temporarily done, or which are temporary, these factors are temporary in nature. This is not going to stay forever permanently in the market, they are only short term, they are temporary in nature, but they are there. So if they are there and sales have been badly hit or negatively hit, so for the time being, firms may think of relaxing its credit policy. If the firm has to relax its credit policy, then the firm can evaluate that if we relax the credit policy, we will make some additional sales in the market. Currently we are selling for 600 units, we can think of selling say again 900 or 950 or 1000 units in the market. So it means that what will be the outcome? Number one, our inventory will be under control, so we will have not to shell out extra funds or extra expenses to manage that inventory. That is one part. Second thing is that say market situation will improve for the firm, and they will be able to sell as much as they are producing. So it means there will not be a big gap between the production and sales, and inventory will also be under control. So it means just to handle the temporary change in the market or in the market situation, sometimes the firms announce the changes in the credit policy, which can be both long term also and short term also. So we will have to evaluate those changes, and we will have to see that if firm changes its credit policy in the short time, what will happen, and if firm changes its credit policy in the long time, what will happen. So whether the firm should change its credit policy or not change its credit policy, that will be a very important point to be discussed, and if it has to be changed, then what points to be borne in mind, and if it has not to be changed, why it should not have to be changed, and what are the important considerations while changing it for the short time, and what are the important considerations while changing it for the long time. So that we will have to discuss and learn about any changes in the credit policy of the firm. Maybe it is a short time, maybe it is a long time, all those changes we will have to measure and try to see the effect of those changes of the credit policies, right. So not in this class, but in the next class, with the help of a small illustration, we would like to learn that if the firm has to evaluate the credit policy, what is the process available, what is the model available, and how we can do that, and what are the important factors to be taken into account for say changing the credit policy. First we will learn about changing the credit policy for the short time, and then we will move to the next part, learning the change in the credit policy of the firm for the long time. So today I will stop here, and whatever the remaining discussion regarding the change in the credit policy by the firms, that we will take up in the next class. Thank you very much.